Captives of a Concept, Chapter 15, entitled Bible or Watchtower Trained Conscience? Which? The May 1st, 2000 Watchtower, page 16, says this: a good conscience, one that is Bible trained, can remind us of the way in which God's Spirit wants us to walk. By learning to rely on our trained Christian conscience, we make good choices even when there is no specific direction in writing. A clean, Bible-trained conscience is a good gift from God. Well, that's all good and dandy, isn't it? But the men of the governing body have taken God's personal gift of conscience away from Jehovah's Witnesses. Here's a few examples. Example number 1. In the Bible, there is no specific direction about saying happy anniversary or happy birthday. But Jehovah's Witnesses are only allowed to say happy anniversary. If they say happy birthday and are not repentant and promise to never say it again, the elders could disfellowship someone for saying happy birthday. Now, there's probably not too many witnesses who don't see a difference between the two, meaning that a lot of witnesses probably don't think if someone says happy birthday that they're going to receive everlasting punishment. But if the Watchtower said it was okay, how many do you think would actually exercise their conscience and not just say happy birthday, but actually participate in that? I think a lot would, but since the governing body doesn't allow this, no Jehovah's Witnesses are allowed to exercise their conscience, even though not a single verse in the Bible says that it is wrong to celebrate birthdays. The Jehovah's Witnesses say that because there were 2 examples of birthdays, because they were celebrated by non-worshippers of their God Jehovah, and because 2 people died on those birthdays, and that since the Bible paints birthdays in a bad light, therefore Jehovah's Witnesses should not celebrate birthdays. But they tend to overlook the scriptures in Job chapter 1 where it says that the children of this faithful man, arguably one of the most faithful men in the Bible, his children celebrated a day, a special day, each one of them. Now, unless it's speaking of their wedding anniversaries, I think it's safe to assume that the children of Job celebrated their own personal birthdays. But that's not talked about in the witness world. Example number 2 is alternative civilian services. Now, when Jehovah's Witnesses refuse military service, some countries allow them non-military alternative services, such as working in civilian hospitals. And for decades, the witnesses were required to refuse this offer, and they would end up going to jail. But in May 1st, 1996, the Watchtower, they finally left this decision up to each individual's conscience. So the point is that even when the witnesses were able to exercise their conscience, it's only because the governing body allows them that right. There is no allowance for conscience disagreement with the governing body or their current teachings. So, in this article here, this August 1st, 2001 Watchtower, entitled, "Why Do You Believe What You Believe?" It says this. Under this heading, the governing body says, "The United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights enshrines every person's right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion. This right includes the freedom to change his religion or belief if he wants to do so. But this has been shown that witnesses who try to exercise this right or belief will suffer the consequences. They will be disfellowshipped." So witnesses who insist on their freedom of right, or their right to freedom of thought or conscience, again, are disfellowshipped on the grounds of apostasy. So again, is it a Bible trained conscience or a Watchtower trained conscience? You make that final decision. And this will bring an end to this chapter. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you for taking time to watch and listen to this presentation. Post your comments, like and share this video, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for the next episode.